everyone, I'm Rachel, the UK Boss Mama. So as I said, it will be my DELF A1 exam next week and I am super nervous and anxious about it. So I prepared this video so you know what I'm struggling and then how I overcome it. You're gonna study with me and see how it goes. Some of you may ask, what is DELF A1? DELF A1 is DELF A1 in French and it's an official exam administered by the French Ministry of Education. DELF stands for Diplôme d'études en langue française. It officially certifies your level of language proficiency. Okay, it seems that I still have to study a little bit harder to cover all of the topic if I really want to get a good result. And my speaking and listening are still obviously the worst bits, so I really want to put some more effort in it, study hard about it. So what I can do with speaking is like this. I record myself, pretend that the camera is my examiner, talk to a camera. I should be confident, I should be fluent, I should know what I'm talking about, what I'm saying. So when I go back and watch the video, make sure I'm good. Okay, this is how I practice my speaking. But then for listening, I just try to watch Peppa Pig in French. But I think Peppa Pig in French is very difficult for me because it speaks too fast.
Le diner.
Peppa et sa famille sont en Amérique. Ils font route vers Hollywood.
Nous sommes arrivés à Hollywood. Non, chère madame, vous avez encore beaucoup de kilomètres à parcourir.
Oh.
Mais puisque vous êtes là, pourquoi ne pas en profiter pour rentrer vous asseoir?
Hang on there. It really takes me a lot of time to digest the sentence, so it's quite difficult for me to watch a French video, but I think watching the cartoons in French is really a good way for me to learn French, especially I like Peppa Pig.
Alors, qu'est-ce que je vous sers? Des
Oh,
étournées?
qu'est-ce que vous... Alors, qu'est-ce que je vous sers? This is a sentence structure that I've learned during my lessons, and I know if you need to take the A1 exam, you gotta know about this sentence. When you go to a restaurant and the waiter or waitress would say it to you, and you know how to reply, like, je voudrais un croissant et un café, s'il vous plaît. So, it's really practical.
Faire cuire un œuf en bougeant le pied. Faire cuire, bouger, faire cuire un œuf.
Qu'est-ce que c'est un œuf tourné, mademoiselle Rabbit?
Qu'est-ce que c'est? Qu'est-ce que c'est means what is this? So this is a very useful question form. Qu'est-ce que c'est? What is this? You go to a restaurant and then there's a lot of foods that you do not completely understand in the menu, and then you always ask the waiter or waitress, qu'est-ce que c'est?
Merci beaucoup.
Merci
Et c'est
beaucoup.
quoi un œuf sur le plat?
Un œuf cuit d'un seul côté, comme celui-ci.
Un œuf sur le plat, s'il vous plaît.
Moi aussi.
Moi
Mademoiselle.
aussi. I really like this episode. Some audio clips online that I can download and listen. So I keep practicing my listening skills because there's no shortcuts for me to do nothing but just learn it. So I really have to do it over again and again and again. I have 3 parts I need to work hard on: is speaking, listening, and the grammar. Reading, I'm alright, so I can read it and I understand it, so the comprehension is alright for me. Writing should be alright, but the reason why I need practice about the grammar and the words is because when I speak, if I'm lack of vocabulary and I'm not sure about the grammar, I think that might reduce some of my points, so I study it for my speaking. Parts that I'm most anxious about is speaking. Yeah, speaking, then listening, then writing, then reading. Good luck. So in order to get prepared for my French exam, I have to study all my books over again and then do the exercises, remember lists of stuff. So this one is the French textbooks that I've been using for like 2 years, and my French teacher recommended this to me, which is really good because you see it covers everything that you need to know as a beginner. It covers the basic presentations, family, professions, where you live, asking for direction. When you go to a hotel, how do you raise your complaint? So you know French people really love complaining. And when you go to a restaurant, how do you order? Get to know about the food. Oh, also about your body, so you know your head, your shoulder, knees and toes. Yeah, I have to learn about that. Okay, and together with this textbook, I've got the exercise book. So basically they're like this. Yep. So say for example, learn about money in euro, about the basic greetings, bonjour, au revoir, bienvenue, enchanté, Allo, c'est combien? So asking for how much, talking about different countries in the world. So, you know, Pays-Bas, Espanol, Allemand. I have done lots of the work, but I still have to have a look over about it because I will forget most of the stuff. And for this one, actually, it was not recommended by my teacher, but I just find it quite useful and match my level. So I just bought it from W. Smith. This is actually the GCSE exercise book. I think this one, I don't know, maybe is not exactly matching the textbook, so I find it a little bit more difficult than this exercise book. Yeah, but still it's good exercise for me. Answers at the back of the exercise book, so I can cross-check it, and then like a few weeks later I can do it again and make sure that I really understand about what I'm learning. I also download details of the DELF A1 syllabus, and then it lists all the topics that will be covered throughout the DELF A1 exam. When you get familiar with all the topics, I'm sure there will be no problem with the exam, so I'm telling myself. So like when I approach someone and ask for something, what can I say? How do I greet? And what question do I ask? I find it asking question in French is quite confused for me, like est-ce que, qu'est-ce que. Yeah, I just always get confused about it. So like for example, qui se que, qu'est-ce que, they are very alike. So I have to write a little remarks to remind me that qui se que is, what is this? No, I mix it up. Qui se que is who is this? And qu'est-ce que is what is this? And then you've also got est-ce que. My French teacher told me that it's actually doesn't mean anything. It's just like when you ask a question, you can use est-ce que or you cannot use est-ce que. So I don't know why, but yeah. And then one other thing that I always get confused is about the de. Like je voudrais du fromage, de la salade et du lait. Sometimes you use de, sometimes you use du lait. So I always get confused about it, but then I check it with ChatGPT. Why is that? So what's the difference between it? And then it told me that du lait means I would like some waters. So you use du. But if you're talking about of water, like a glass of water, a cup of water, you use d'eau, un verre d'eau. So now I understand that. When you're speaking, I just cannot catch up with the pace, so I have to think it in my head and then I have to speak it out. It makes my speaking very, very, very slowly. And one more thing that makes me really confused is about the s. So you've got s. Okay, ce sont. So why is it not ce sont? I asked ChatGPT again, and then it said you can say ce parent means these parents. You can say ce livre means these books. Obviously, you need an object after the ce. Ce sont mes parents, but you can say ce parent. They're different meaning. And now I get it. Okay, so this is the syllabus that I have to go through before I take the exam. I've also have some little notes here with me all the time, like the pocket notes. So wherever I go, I have this pocket notes with me. I can just have a look and have a fresh memory. So these are all the reflexive verbs that I have to remember. I am very, very weak about it. So like je me lavais, so I wash myself. Je m'appelle, of course, this is easy. Je me douchais, shower myself. Je me bossais, je me couchais, je me préparais, je me reposais. So there's a group of reflexive verbs that I have to study by heart. So when learning a new skill, I have to admit that there are some fundamental tasks that are extremely boring and tricky, yet necessary to push through and memorize. For me, these conjugating verbs, especially the irregular ones, like vouloir, savoir, faire, well, these irregular ones are really challenging. I've been trying to ignore it, but at this point I think I really need to face it properly. Study it by heart and try at least I can spell it. Okay, start with vouloir. So I'm trying to see the common factors in between, so that would be easier for me to memorize the logic in between. But I found that French has no logic at all. Cheveux longs. So now I'm going to group the conjugating verbs ending with re here. So, être. I think the verbs ending with re are a bit easier to remember. For this one, I really have to memorize it by heart. Faits, they seem to be following the same logic here. They have the common factor. Die looks similar with li, but for the full format, they are not the same. So it's really confusing. Oh. So, I've grouped all the most frequently used conjugating verb into one page and try to find the logic in between. I find no logic at all, again, but at least I'm a visualized person, so I kind of like every time when I have to use the similar words, I have to memorize this page and see, okay, this one same as that one, so they will be a same family. Every time if I want to use the verb, and I will search the memories in my head. This is how I memorize things, is to visualize it. Okay, that makes sense. It follows a certain logic here. This one and this one, they're not the same. They're not the same. But I found that doit is the same as these forms, and fou is the same as these form, and pour is the same as these form, and then add ent. So I can memorize by this way that the previous part should follow the same form of logic as je and tu, but then the end of it will add ent instead. So let's see if savoir follow the same logic here. No way! I thought it would be sai because the form here is ai, but then actually there's no I there, so c'est. There it is. So this one, I have to memorize it by heart again without getting to know the logic. That's my conclusion. In French, no logic at all. Still sleeping. The A1 level for elementary learners is the introduction and discovery of French, which is about 100 hours of learning. It allows you to master the basics of French. You should be able to understand and use very simple expressions of everyday life. The reason I wanted to take this exam is because I really want to know my progress in French learning. So I'm going to practice the speaking. This paper is actually downloaded from this website, the DELF sample papers. It's pretty good because there are 4 papers in total that I can download. As you see, there are some audio clips that you can listen in order to answer the questions. There are also some answers at the back of the paper, so if you finish your sample paper, and then you can just check the correct answer at the end of it. Here, for the oral section, it provides examples of the questions. So I'm thinking if I practice all of them, much of the syllabus will be covered here, so I'm now going to do it. Bonjour, je m'appelle Rachel, je suis anglaise d'origine Hong Kong. J'ai une famille pour 3 avec mon mari et mon fils. Nous avons un Jacques qui s'appelle Gaji. Elle est une femme, elle est brune et belle. Nous avons déménagé de Hong Kong en Angleterre. Nous aimons ici beaucoup. Une maison avec 4 chambres, une cuisine, une salle de dîner, 2 salles de bain et un jardin. Nous avons une voiture électrique. Mes parents vivent à Hong Kong. J'ai un petit frère qui a déménagé en Angleterre depuis l'année dernière. Il habite à Bicester où est 12 heures près du Surrey. Nous ne voyons pas beaucoup. Nous voyons environ une fois tous les 2 mois quand il ne travaille pas. J'ai été un directrice pour la compagnie du marketing, mais c'est très fatigué. J'ai dû travailler longues heures. Je suis assistante pédagogique à l'école. J'aime travailler beaucoup parce que les vies sont très amusantes et adorables. Les collègues sont très gentils aussi. Vous aimez le sport? Oui, j'aime jouer au tennis. Le week-end, j'aime.
Oh, c'est amusant.
C'est très amusant.
Exactement. Très bien. Excellent. And then, parlez-moi d'une journée habituelle.
Oh.
Vous vous levez à quelle heure? Verbs you don't like very much reflexive.
Yes, I know.
Vous vous levez à quelle heure? Qu'est-ce que vous mangez pour le petit? Let's do them one by one.
Okay.
Parlez-moi d'une journée habituelle. Vous vous levez à quelle heure?
Bonjour monsieur, est-ce que je peux voir votre convocation et votre pièce d'identité, s'il vous plaît?
Voilà. Ah oui. Merci. Oui, c'est la carte.
Je vais vous poser quelques questions et vous répondez. Ça va?
Ça va?
Ok. Comment vous vous appelez?
Je m'appelle.
For long-term language improvement, continuing lessons with a native French teacher is still essential. And additionally, immersing yourself in French through watching videos and cartoons and any kind of TV programs, as well as reading in French, will significantly enhance your learning. To address immediate language queries, practical tools like ChatGPT and DeepL, the translation app, can be invaluable. They provide instant support when you can't reach your teacher. This ensures you don't get stuck on particular point that can't wait until the next lesson. So in terms of short-term strategies, especially for exam preparation, using some online apps to target specific grammar or vocabulary can help boosting some short-term memories. And organizing your own notes is also crucial. Although you can find many resources online or receive notes from your teacher, actively writing and organizing them in your own way will help reinforce the learning in your mind. So as you progress, you'll have a personalized collection of key notes that serve as your own valuable study resources. Je vais aller à Londres aujourd'hui parce que je vais prendre l'examen DELF A1. Il commence à 12 heures, mais je veux arriver plus tôt pour me préparer. Just finished the first part of exam, which is the speaking, which went okay, I think. So at the beginning, I was waiting at the cafeteria to calm down myself. 5 minutes later, and then one person asked me to go into a room. There were several cards on the table and asked me to choose. I can choose 2 out of 6, and then I choose 1 out of the 2, which is about the topics that I'm going to ask the questions to the examiners. What I chose is including français, examen, école, lire, bibliothèque, and professeur. The other batch, there were like 6 cards for me to choose, and then I chose 1 as well, and I have to pretend I am the parent going to a shop to buy the uniform for my children. So there are some pictures on the little card, which include a pair of trainers, t-shirt, pantalon, and a swimsuit. So I think this topic is already better than the other one I have chosen. I had to choose 1 of the 2, and this one is a little bit more familiar to me. Still, I didn't know how to say swimsuit in French, so I was just saying les vêtements pour nager. So when it started, the examiner asked me some question about, okay, what's my name, how old am I, quel âge avez-vous, quelle est votre nationalité, something like that. Je suis du Hong Kong. And then she further asked me about whether I like Hong Kong or not, pourquoi, why do I like Hong Kong, and I just chit-chat with her, which was feeling really good. After that, I asked her some question like, vous êtes professeur de français? Vous êtes français? And she said, no, je suis belge, Je suis du Belgique. For the role play, she say bonjour madame, and I reply bonjour madame, comment ça va? Ça va bien, merci. Je voudrais acheter blah 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 blah. At the end of the purchase, and I asked, puis-je payer en carte, s'il vous plaît? Oui, oui. And then there were some coins, like paper coins and paper cards on the table. Take the card, gave it to her, and I should say, voilà, merci, au revoir, bonne journée. So I think these are the sentence or the words that I could get some points. Hi everyone, this is the next day after the exam. Yesterday night after the exam, I was so exhausted. I did nothing, just put my feet up and sit on the sofa and randomly search on YouTube and Netflix. I haven't done this for a long time since I was preparing for the exam for like a month. And finally I had some time today to make up my mind and review the exam yesterday. So after the oral exam I had 1 hour break, and when I returned to the center I get prepared for the written exam, and it started with listening. To be honest, I think the listening was a bit quite tricky or difficult. It's not as easy as I imagined. I also asked about the other candidates after the exam, and then they also kind of agree with me. So, okay, this is not particularly my problem. Alright, I think I could still get some point in the listening part, so, well, let's hope for that. And after that is obviously the reading and comprehension and the writing part. Kind of confident in that part. The most difficult part I think is the oral and listening. But then it's finished. I would not think about it anymore, so I would just wait for November to come, and then by 24th of November I'm gonna get the result and see how it goes. And after the exam I will see whether I will carry on to take the A2 or I should wait and then take the B1 level directly. So I'll ask my French teacher and see how she thinks about it. So voila, this is my study journey for the A1 exam, and I hope somehow motivates you and inspires you when you're preparing any kind of French examination like GCSE or A-level French exam, or if you're considering or you're about to take the DELF A1 exam. So I hope this video can help you a little bit. If you like my video, please like it and subscribe to my channel. And thank you for watching. Bye!
某記性某異性口多多。
難我唯一的秘密，天際最強人物，正氣朋友，性格忠實，邪惡馬上消失。